I'm Camille O'Sullivan and I'm from Ireland, and I'm delighted to be performing in The Rape of Lucrece at the Sydney Festival with the Royal Shakespeare Company with a poem that was written by Shakespeare that Fergal Murray and myself created music for and will be performing. It's been a first for me because I sing the likes of Nick Cave, Jacques Brel, you know, Radiohead. I'm into kind of provocative storytelling which makes you question. I love theatre, and it made sense in a way when we, you know, I hadn't written music before, but when we put music to this, Fergal and myself, Shakespeare's poem, maybe because it was in rhyme, suited this type of singing storytelling and lended it itself to be very contemporary. So some people, when they hear it, think it's quite kind of modern, some of the songs, especially at the end of the poem. When I was growing up in Ireland, I always felt kind of, you know, slightly intimidated by Shakespeare and his words. But what was great about the Royal Shakespeare Company, they said, speak in your own voice and try and make sense of it. Don't get kind of caught up in the whole poetry of every word. Just try and see the sense of an emotion in a person. And I think he paints pictures with his words. So it's very easy to kind of like get lost in his words because you're kind of creating. You know, he uses landscape or he uses animals to be metaphors. And so I'm usually like distraught because I love animals, and I'm going, oh my God, this terrible scene where he's talking about a poor little fawn trying to get out of a forest, and he's relating it to this girl that's in this problem. And he understood so much the vulnerability of somebody. Like, I love the fact he understood the strength of kind of, or the evilness of people, but then a woman and her innocence, you know. So I kind of thought, how did he understand everything? He's kind of like all man, really, you know. And when you're saying his stuff on stage, the more and more you speak it, you go, oh my God, that's amazing what he said. So it's a lovely discovery as a performer. You feel like you're living his words very presently, not something from 400 years ago, right now. And I think the most important thing for me is to let the audience go, don't get fazed by the old language. It's a very modern, you know, it's about now, you know.